welcome back to another segment of Big Family Life in the Simpson Family home. Today we're back in the kitchen because food is medicine, and I'm here with my favorite sous chef, Bucky. Say hi, bro.
Hi.
All right, it's about 9 o'clock Sunday morning, and we are about to start preparing brunch, and we're gonna do my impression of a traditional Jamaican Sunday afternoon brunch, which consists of, here are our ingredients: Ackee, which is the Jamaican national fruit. Never quite figured out if it was a fruit or vegetable. I don't know. Maybe somebody out there can help me out on that. It's not like a vegetable. Typically, you have to cook it, but they say I don't know. Over here we've got salt fish, which is salted cod, and they salt the fish in order to preserve it. And I've had it soaking overnight, and now as you can see it's boiling because there's a lot of salt in there, and I've got to get the salt out and get some moisture back in, so we kind of got to reconstitute it while drawing the salt out. Now when you look at my list of ingredients, you're going to see some ingredients that don't typically go into this dish. However, as we said, food is medicine, and we tried to find interesting ways to get things that are good for our children into, like, about all this ginger is going to go in there. Well, maybe not all of that, but I do cook a lot with a lot of ginger, and I do cook with a lot of garlic, simply because I've read again that the healing benefits are tremendous. Leafy greens. So we're gonna get some bok choy in there. I like to put some spinach in there as well from time to time, and that's not something that you will ever see in this dish, but it's what we do. I like to put bell peppers in there, sweet peppers in there, and I like to put tomatoes in there. And of course, because we Jamaican. Look at this big bad boy. This big, beautiful. Look at the color on this. Look at the size. All of that is going in there. That whole entire Scotch bonnet pepper. So that's going to kick it up a notch. And of course, this is served. Come on over here, sweetheart. This is served with fried dumpling, right? And fried dumpling, if I had to equate it to something that you might be familiar with, is just maybe biscuits or bannock, if you're familiar with bannock fry bread. Essentially, it's just flour, water, and baking powder that you're going to fry in oil. Let me give you a quick pro tip. The baking powder, I haven't measured baking powder in this recipe for years. Years ago, when I used to work at the Air Force Base with a Newfoundland enlisted man, his name was Benny, great guy, Benny Galpin. If you're out there, buddy, we miss you. He told me, he says that with baking powder, unless it's like cake or something like this, if you're making pancakes, or in this bannock, or in this case I'm making fried dumpling, all you want to do is put a light dusting of baking powder to cover the top of your recipe, and that's pretty much enough. And I mean, I've been doing that for years, and I know people out there are going to be upset, but I've been doing it for years, and this recipe, it's not really all that important, as in like if you're baking a cake or something like that, and the amounts have to be precise. So I've got the flour in the mixer. Bear with me, because this here is very temperamental, not the mixer itself, my ability to use it. I'm used to making the dough by hand. You need it by hand, and Fifi, our resident baker, got this this past summer because of her interest. So I'm trying to learn how to use it. So the last time I used it, I had to make 2 batches because I threw out the first. So hopefully this is going to work out for me this time. So, but I want to show you what I mean when I said that just a light dusting on top. So this whole thing, the flour's in there, right? So, and I found something this size will do about 4 cups of flour efficiently. Anything more, and it's just too much for it. So I'm just putting a light dusting. I don't know if you can see that, like baking icing sugar. You know, if you're icing a dessert, confectioner sugar. So I just put a light dusting in there, and that pretty much is it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a whip and just incorporate it, because nobody likes to have baking powder pockets or baking soda pockets in your baking that's not been incorporated or mixed into your recipe. I like to sift my flour because, again, this is it's a light bread. So, I start there by incorporating air. Once you've done this enough, it's like making a pancake batter from scratch. You know how much baking powder you need simply by stirring, by incorporating into the flour, because the flour then reaches a consistency in it's a dry flour. Yes, there's no water in there. However, the consistency does change, and the fork, or in this case I'm using a whip, goes through differently. And so that's pretty much done. So that's got the all I'm going to do afterwards is add a cup of water to that. This is actually maybe 2 cups. This is the cup that I use. I have a measuring cup. But this is the one that I use for this particular recipe. And this will hold probably 2 cups of water. I'm not going to use all of it. I'm going to kind of eye it to once the dough starts to collect and come together. Pull it out, let it rest, and then I'll start to work it. But you'll see that. So right now we're going to start processing all of these vegetables, right? What I mean by that is I'm going to start chopping them up and getting them into the wok. I like to use the wok because, I don't know, I just like to use the wok. You can use a frying pan, you can use a cast iron frying pan, you can use a Teflon frying pan. I mean, you can use a pot. And it's entirely up to you. I like to use a wok because, I don't know, man, I like to get up in there and act like I know. Even though I don't. So I'm going to start processing this food. And this is a process. It takes a little bit longer. So check back in with me. Check back in with us, me and Bucky here in the kitchen in the Simpson Family home. Check back in with us again. We'll check in maybe 2-3 times because it's a tedious process. You don't want to. It's not really a tedious process, but whatever. Check back in with us. All right.